All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Really quickly, this video is going to be talking about how to go over the app or how to use the app for real, right? So this is really like a little instructional so you can see how on earth WinGrants is supposed to operate. I'm actually recording this live right now, so I want to make sure that it's concise and direct. Let me just type this in for anybody who is joining in. Boom. All right, great. Now, the way that WinGrants works, right? The app does two major things, okay? Number one is discovery. So, of course, you can look at all of the grants that I find and put into the product, and you can check those out, right? You can basically just be like, okay, cool. I'm going to look at the profile. I'm going to look at all of the opportunities that already exist in the database. The second thing that you could do is that if you find a grant or opportunity, you could use WinGrants to analyze it, to do all of the research so that you have a strategy for success. So I'm going to show you how both of those operate. When you get over to the homepage of the app, right, at the top right here is where you're going to be able to put in the URL. I'm going to show that after I go through how to look at the opportunities. Over in the left-hand corner is the Browse Grants, okay? When you go over to Browse Grants, now, disregard the way that it looked unshaped because I had to make this small to fit on the screen, okay? But you can click over to any of the opportunities, and here is where you're going to see the entire profile. The profile is basically set up where it's like, you have your top insights at the top. It lets you know the eligibility, as in who can apply, the people who have won in the past, and then there's buttons here so you can go through all of them, the winner patterns, all those things. If you also notice on the profile, there is a button you can click called Generate Playbook. This right here is directly connected to the information that you have inside of your profile. So since we've done all this analysis and research on the actual opportunity for your profile, it will then combine the two things. Everything you put in your profile, all the information on the funder, puts them together and creates a strategy specifically to you, which is why the more information in your profile, the better, because it gives better context for you to generate your playbook. So you can click that, it generates a playbook. There's a notification at the bottom, and you'll be able to see that show up in your My Reports section on the app. I wanted to take a note though that anytime you use the playbook, there is a place at the bottom of the playbook for you to regenerate. That regeneration, however, can only happen once every 15 minutes. Just to make sure that anybody who is creating the regeneration and stuff like that's just like you're not constantly just like making more and more profiles, right? So that's the way that that one works. Of course, I'm open to any feedback and how anyone has been able to use it. The next way is my favorite. This right here is my favorite section of the actual app, which is the place the place where you can research opportunities. So I'm going to show you, right? This right here is a pitch competition that I just found, right? Which is open to anyone in the United States, right? So this is open to anyone in the United States, and it is $2,500. There's no deck that involved. It's literally a 60-second pitch video that you create, and then they're gonna choose a winner. Okay. So all you have to do to really understand how exactly to win this is how WinGrants work. You copy and paste the link of the page that you're on. Then you head over to WinGrants. All right. And then you paste that link here and click Analyze. Once you click Analyze, the platform goes and does all of the research for you. It's going to look at the judging criteria. It's going to look at whether or not anyone has won in the past. And if they have won, what was their project? What did they use the money on? So that you have a better understanding about who they typically choose. It's going to do research on the actual funder to find out how long have they been in business? What are their values? What motivates them? What desires do they have for actually creating this opportunity? The reason why it's so important to understand all of this information is because the more strategy you have is the better chance you have of success of winning. Just like any game that you play. If you're competitive, because I'm competitive, if you're competitive, in order for you to win, your best chance of success is knowing all the rules to the game. Okay. And this research process works worldwide, right? I haven't tested it with opportunities that are not in English, so I might have to do that next. But if it's in English, it can do the research and it, available on the internet. So that's how that works. This process in terms of creating the research typically takes anywhere between 2 to 6 minutes, depending on how big the grant actually is. All right. And then once it's done, you're going to be able to get a link right over here in your notifications, or you'll also be able to see it right here in featured opportunities. It'll pop up as the most recent one in there. Okay. So that is the basics, okay? The My Report section, this is the area that's going to have all of the reports that you have generated in the past. This is where you're going to be able to find it. You can, of course, filter by, the fit of the opportunities. Much of these, I just kind of did it for a bunch of opportunities that I don't actually have a fit for. You're getting an alignment score. I'm still building out the Explore section. And of course, in the saved is where you can put all of the grants that you have saved. So if you do find a grant that you want to look into, you can click save. And then my profile is the area you're going to be able to add in that information. Everything here is what is going to dictate your playbook. So the more information you have in your profile, the better your strategy playbook is going to be. And typically, whenever you get the strategy playbook, you may read it and it'd be like, oh, you may need experience here. And you say to yourself, yo, I've actually done something just like this. That is why the regeneration happens, so that you can include more information about whatever it is that you're building and whatever it is you're doing. Okay. So that is the basics on how to use the platform. All right. If you have at all any questions, comments, concerns, or feedback that you want to give about the entire process, you could do so either on this video or in the feedback section of the school community. Super excited to have you in here, and I cannot wait to see what you get funded.